Hello, and welcome to another episode of Kid Inventor Spotlight, a program of Invention Convention Worldwide and the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation in Dearborn, Michigan. My name is Aaron, and I'm with Invention Convention. Today, we're joined by Noah Hong, a rising 8th grader from Chicago. Noah won both second place in his grade category and the Value Proposition Award presented by the Lemelson Foundation for his invention, the Good Breather. Welcome, Noah.
Hello.
Hello. Noah, if you could begin by telling us a little bit about yourself.
So I am I'm going into eighth grade at Alexander Graham Bell Elementary School in Chicago, Illinois. This was my first year doing Invention Convention with Chicago Innovation. This year, I was able to have the amazing opportunity to compete virtually with Chicago Innovation.
Great, excellent, Noah. Well, you've got a lot to tell us about your invention, so I know that you've got a screen to share. Let's jump in on what your invention is all about.
So this is my invention, the Good Breather, which is making personalized masks from biometric facial recognition. So it all started out last summer when I went to Seoul, South Korea. And there were a few days where the air pollution just wasn't that great. And we had to wear some masks outside. And it just hit me that one day where I just realized that air pollution was only going to become a bigger global issue. And the equipment we had to keep ourselves safe from it weren't really that great. And so I wanted to pursue a better mask design. And so it just so happened that year that our school started Invention Convention. And so I decided to create a better mask design. And so some of the key problems that I noted with masks were ineffectiveness due to people having different face shapes and sizes. And so there can't possibly be a mask that can fit every individual. And so having something that could work for everyone was one of my key problems. And then there's also the big issue of a heat buildup inside a mask. It can get really sweaty and uncomfortable. And then I also wanted to do something about the elastic straps, which forcefully fit someone into a mask, which can be really uncomfortable and can even cause possible skin damage after long periods of time. And so this is my mask. I have multiple different parts to it. So as you can see, there's the mask, which is personalized for every individual, and then it's attached to the face around the edge with a skin tape. And I chose skin tape because it would ensure a secure edge seal while holding the mask in place. And I don't have this on this diagram, but there's also a Velcro headband which wraps around the whole face and attaches to the top of the mask. And this headband reinforces the skin tape and helps keep the mask in place. And at the bottom, there is a metal plate to aid in thermal energy management. Inside the mask is a grid of aluminum, and this aluminum, and since aluminum has a high thermal conductivity, it would help to circulate the heat from inside of the mask to outside of the mask through the metal plate. And so I have multiple different layers on my mask. From the outside, I have a layer of stretch fabric, and then in between, I have different layers of different materials, such as cotton, activated charcoal, and paper to help filter out particles in the air while using materials that were more natural for the environment. And then my skin tape was with an aluminum strip and some foam to make it comfortable, as well as help circulate the heat. And so my biometric facial recognition program would work by simply just sending a picture to a program, and then the program would locate different key points on your face. So this could be the bridge of your nose, or the edges of your mouth. And then with that, using just like basic fractions and ratios, you would create a few additional points. And then with all those points, you would connect some of them. And then those connected points, along with some basic geometry, you could determine the angles of the different parts of the mask, and with that, you have a mask inside. But one of the problems I came upon was having to figure out how would you determine the exact length of a line from a picture. And so to solve that, I realized that the pupil of the human eye is about 4 millimeters and doesn't change that much as a human body grows. And so knowing that the pupil of the human eye is about 4 millimeters, all the lengths of the line can be made through the variable n, which is the ratio between the pupil and the length of a line. And doing so, we can determine m, which would be the exact length of a line. And so pretty much how I imagine this, the good breather would work is that a consumer would just take a picture of themselves and upload it to an app or a website. And then a program would go through the biometric process, which I just mentioned before, to determine the dimensions and measurements of a mask. And then these measurements would be sent out where they would be cut out and then shipped to a consumer. And that is the good breather.
Wow, spectacular, Noah. Thank you. And again, congratulations on your award. So for anyone that's watching this during the COVID pandemic, I'm sure what immediately comes to mind is everyone's wearing masks now. How does the mask that you created, and I know that you created, the idea first came up and the concept first came up prior to COVID, but the immediate question is, could I use this for COVID?
Definitely. Yeah, so there are different grades of masks, and air pollution masks, which I was originally designing for, are supposed to be N95 grade, meaning that 95% of particulate matter gets filtered out. And so N95 grade is also applicable for the spread of infectious diseases such as coronavirus.
Great. So what would one mask cost? Have you costed this out in terms of what a consumer would pay?
Yeah, I did some quick math, and the strap would be about $6, the Velcro strap I mentioned earlier. But the mask itself would cost about $2, although I'm realizing that if this becomes mass-produced in bulk, it could be cheaper.
Great. So how long did it take you to work on this invention? From your first idea to where you are in terms of submitting to U.S. nationals?
So I started in about October, I think, October of 2019, and I had been working up until about April of this year, which was when I submitted it to Chicago Innovation and then U.S. Nationals, although it really didn't get into full swing until about February or March.
Great. So you won at U.S. Nationals. What were your immediate thoughts when you heard that you won?
I was definitely really surprised. Prior to the award ceremony, I just had a few moments of doubt where I just realized I just felt I just kind of doubted myself. Like, did I do this right? What am I really doing here? But then while I was watching the award ceremony, I was definitely really shocked, but really just really happy seeing that my work was recognized and has potential to go further.
Fantastic. Well, again, you won 2 awards, both second place in your grade category and the Value Proposition Award presented by the Lemelson Foundation. Let's talk a little bit about the Value Proposition Award. It's if you could just maybe speak to how you feel that your invention is a value proposition.
It definitely, especially during these times, it definitely holds um, a lot of potential as a mask, a better mask design. I think with current events going on, this could really help everyone around us.
Great. So tell us, in terms of your invention process, what was the hardest part?
I think the hardest part for me was when I was starting. Um, when I first, as I said, I started in about October, but for the first 3 months or so, I didn't really do anything. I constantly fell into this cycle of doubting myself. Like, am I really doing something meaningful here? But then after that phase, I just realized like I need to start doing something, and so I just went for it. I just started jotting down ideas. I started just trying out some stuff, see what worked, what didn't work, and that's how we got here today.
Wonderful. Well, that was the hardest part. What about the easiest part?
I think the easiest part for me was finding a really strong problem. Um, like even just thinking about possibilities for next year, I'm starting to realize how lucky I was to start out with a problem that really meant a lot to me, and something I knew I could do something like in the area that I felt that I could do something meaningful for.
Great. What other inventions or masks did you look at before you and during your invention process? And how do you think your mask is different from what might be available to the consumer right now?
So when I first started, I just looked at all the different kinds, a lot of different masks um, on the internet. So I saw masks with replaceable filters. I saw really cheap disposable medical masks. Um, and when I started, I was just taking ideas from here and there. So I was like, I was just looking for inspiration. So like when I first started, I was thinking of maybe having a replaceable filter similar to other masks. But after a while, I went against that idea and chose to go down a different path. And this is a path that I don't think has ever been, I'm pretty sure has never been explored within the mask industry, which is having a personalized and user based approach to designing a mask.
So, if I'm a person at home, talk to me about the process when you take this invention to market. How exactly do I go about the biometric facial recognition software? Do I download it? Is there a cost for that? As a consumer, how would I go about making my own mask?
Really, all you would have to do is just take a picture of yourself, and then what I'm thinking is a website or an app where you would upload it, and then the rest, and that's it. Um, then the program would do all the um, biometric facial recognition work, and then it would be cut out and shipped. That being said, however, there's still a lot I have to do. I don't have a software yet for the biometric facial recognition, and that's something I'm looking for. Someone who could help me design a software for that.
All right, everyone, you heard it here. Noah could use an investor. Um, what other improvements would you like to make to your invention?
Um, I think as of now, I want to get really good feedback to see if there are any things I really need to work on with my mask. So professional feedback from people who work within the mask industry. Um, so I've gotten in contact with a few people already, but I'm still looking for more professional feedback so I can get a better design. Or even better than that, maybe even a potential partnership with someone who works within the mask industry to give me um, kind of like to give the expertise in that background.
Great. Well, that's another request from Noah, everyone. Let's talk about your invention process. You just mentioned you could use some additional help and resources. What about any people that may have helped you thus far? Have you had any mentors? What about your family?
My family definitely was very supportive of me as I started and continued. Um, and then my dad also helped give me some feedback along the way. And then I also got a lot of help from my science teacher, who was also our school's invention convention club coach. He also gave me lots of really good feedback on my design, asking questions like, um, how could you make this better suited for a consumer market, or um, thought about this or that, and that kind of feedback really helped to boost my design. Um, and then I also got some friends to help me while I was making my presentation video for nationals. I actually just sent an email to them and was just asking, what do you think of this? Is there anything that I could add more clarity to? Is there um, anything I need to work on? And they gave me lots of meaningful advice, such as, you really didn't go in depth with this. Could you explain to me further how this part works? And so that, I think overall, just having lots of people to give me really good feedback on my design, as well as my presentation, just helped to get me to where I am today.
Great. As you think about maybe famous inventors or other people who have developed innovations, is there anyone in particular that you look up to? Any idols, any inspiration that you get from people out there?
Um, I think um, I think James Dyson kind of inspired me. So he works with his company Dyson, which today is really famous for their high-tech um, vacuum cleaners and fans. But one of the things that really stuck out to me was one of his earliest inventions, which was the ball bearer, which was just a wheel a wheelbarrow, but instead of a wheel, it had this giant yoga ball kind of thing. And what that did was to stop the wheelbarrow from getting stuck in different holes and ditches in the ground. Rather, it would just, with the ball barrel, it would just roll over them. And that just kind of amazed me how such a simple change can make a huge difference.
Great. Let's turn our attention here to the Chicago Invention Convention and the program, the organization that runs the Invention Convention, Chicago Innovation. Tell us a little, I know that this was your first year. Tell us more about your experience working with the Invention Convention folks. What was it like? Did you learn? What kind of support did you receive?
So prior to this year, I didn't really know much about Chicago Innovation. I didn't really know that they existed. But going through this process, I realized that they're just an amazing group of people who are working to help develop next generation leaders. Seeing the kind of inspiring work they've done for many students like me across the whole city, it just really amazes me that how much they're giving in to help us. They've given us feedback and lots of support as we've moved forward with our inventions.
Great. So, are you thinking about any inventions going forward? Any problems to everyday or solutions to everyday problems that you're trying to address?
Um, I mean, I have a few ideas for other inventions that I could try.
Great, excellent. Well, that's good to hear. We look forward to seeing what you're going to come up with next. So, there's a lot of students right now that are at home, have been at home, and may be at home for quite some time to come. What advice do you have for students that are at home so that they can be inventing? Still.
Um, I think, especially since you're at home, and um, I would say start out with find a really good problem that you think will have a huge impact, and uh, see what you can do. Just um, something I found helpful was just thinking from different perspectives. So um, maybe just try thinking about people who are on the other side of the world, someone maybe in Africa or Europe. What's the problem that they face? And also try thinking a little more forward into the future. What's a rising problem that could possibly shape the world in the future, and what can I do to find a solution before that problem becomes a major issue? And just thinking with a forward and more open perspective really helps to find a strong problem. And once you've got that, the rest of it is just going for it, and it's just like a snowball. Once you get there, ideas just start flowing in, and then you have an invention.
Wonderful, thank you. And Noah, what words of advice do you have for students that might be considering getting involved with Invention Convention? Why should they?
It's a really good experience, and it's really inspiring. I would just go for it. It gives you an opportunity to look around the world um, and see the kind of things that you can do for your community and all the people around you. And seeing that kind of action take place where you can help others around you is just a really great feeling. Um, and it's something that I found very enjoyable and something I want to do again and again.
Great answer, thank you, Noah. Uh, why, kind of a big picture question, and one of our last questions, why do you think inventing is so important? Why do we need more students like you thinking about solutions to some of the world's most pressing problems, as well as simple solutions to everyday problems? Why is inventing important?
Inventing, I think, is really important because it keeps us moving forward, and it keeps us more aware of the people and the problems that surround us. Um, we get to experience um, working with other people um, and building kind of like our own future. We get to help reshape the world to a better place that we can imagine. And seeing that change take place is really great. And I think it's something that everyone should be able to experience at least once in their life.
And Noah, you first found out about Invention Convention through your school, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. What was it like working with other inventors that were solving their own problems while at school?
So when this being the first year with our club, it was really small. Um, it was just four of us. But I think with a small group, we were able to connect with each other more. We were able to um, really help each other out. I remember some days where I would help test out and give feedback for my friends, and they would also give me the same feedback. And I think um, it's just really great being able to work with others.
Great. And did you get any ideas whatsoever from other inventors that helped shape your invention? Were there any key moments when you heard from other inventors in the club that you said, huh, I might want to consider that?
Although our inventions were completely different, there were some inspirational moments that helped um, me get over my stumbling blocks. Um, Even if it was just seeing them like get over um, get over their own blocks and just um, just like persevering. I think it was just really inspiring and gave me more motivation.
Fantastic. Well, Noah, before we close out, is there anything else that you want to share with folks about your invention process, and why you think invention education is so important.
I think I just want to close with saying that invention and innovation can really just change your lives and the lives of people around you. And I think um, really helping the next generation embrace this kind of learning can help create a better sense of community as well as just a better future for all of us.
Wonderfully said, Noah. Thank you. Well, on behalf of Invention Convention Worldwide, I thank everyone for watching. A special call out to, again, the Lemelson Foundation for providing the Value Proposition Award, for which Noah and his invention, the Good Breather, were awarded. To learn more about Invention Convention Worldwide, how you as a student or a teacher, how you can put that in your classroom, or a parent, how you can get your child involved, please visit www.inventionconvention.org. You can access previous and future Kid Inventor Spotlight videos on the Henry Ford's YouTube page or on Invention Convention Worldwide's Facebook page. Noah, we want to congratulate you again on not only what is an amazing invention and definitely forward thinking, but also for taking the time to speak with us and to share your story. And again,
Thank you.
thank you. And to all of our current students and budding inventors, Invention Convention Worldwide congratulates you on your dedication to your passions and perseverance to see it through. Goodbye for now, everyone, and thank you again, Noah, for joining us.
Thank you.